So global events, Vivek, Russia-Ukraine war, US elections, all of these now finally have an impact on global markets and also on Indian markets. Can you break down how something so distant, like sometimes I have difficulty in spotting some countries also on the atlas, how do they impact a young investor here in India?
Okay. See, it also, it depends on how big that international event is. So everything doesn't really impact us. But what happens is the way the media goes about portraying it. Because for media, it's like what bleeds, that leads. Okay. So, and they have space to fill up. So anything that happens in any part of the world gets reported on extensively. And in our heads, we sort of end up thinking that might probably impact us. So I'll give you a very simple example, something I went through. So when the dot-com bubble burst, okay, a lot of, the companies did not want to recruit. And a lot of companies which had offered job, sort of cancelled those appointments. So I had friends who had gone to pretty good engineering colleges and they had jobs from all the, major Indian IT companies. And what happened was, in some cases, or almost in all cases, if I remember correctly, and this is around 2000, 2001, a lot of these appointments got postponed, and sometimes by more than a year and a half. So that was one clear impact of how something that happened in the US ended up impacting us. And, a specific example that I remember is a friend who had a job from a company. He got so fed up of waiting that he went and joined the Indian Navy on short service commission, because he just did not like the idea of being educated and sitting at home unemployed, waiting for that IT company to get back to him. So that, I think, is an example that has always stayed with me. So obviously, everything doesn't impact us, but few things do. And, as an individual, you need to have the thinking capability to figure out how this is going to impact me.
Yeah. So we hear this phrase a lot, right? Time in the market is more important than timing in the market. What is the importance of this phrase, to an investor who's probably starting an SIP of 500 rupees?
I think the importance is, as the cliche goes, if you have to make a good amount of money from the stock market, you have to stay invested for a very, very long period of time. I mean, a lot of, if you are in the habit of looking through reels, like I am, you get this example of how if you had invested in Wipro, if you had invested 5,000 or 10,000 rupees in Wipro in 1976, you would have so many crores now. Or you get all these examples of if you had invested in this mutual fund in 1994. And so in 2025, you would have so much more money. But the question is, at the end of the day, how many people end up investing for that kind of time frame? So, I mean, I'll give you another personal example here. So one of my chartered accountant, he had a client. And so this was some 2008, around 2008, when the markets had reached their then peak. So one day he got a query from a lady who had invested, I think through his father, in 1996 and forgotten about it. Okay. So she came to him and very politely asked, sir, मैंने वो invest किया था, तो अभी पता नहीं कुछ हो सकता है क्या, So she was like, in her head, she had written off that investment. And he then said, हाँ madam, and he took out whatever the details were required, and she was shocked beyond her belief, because in a period of 12 years, the money had really grown, right? So the examples that one hears of those who have invested for the long term and made money are few and far between. I mean, you hear of all these stock market gurus who have grown, who've become very rich. But again, they're very, very, few in number. For a general population, you don't hear such stories because people just keep moving from, one thing to another. It's very difficult to sort of, hold on to what you're doing for a long period of time. But that is what, at the end of the day, helps you make a lot of money.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.